Hello, welcome back Year 10, Lesson 2. Okay, the date is the 26th of March. The title is Education Ethnicity, but this time we're going to look at cultural factors. So I hope you're keeping well, working hard and hoping that this won't go on for long. Last time we talked about how different ethnic groups achieve differently in the UK system. We said some of those reasons are down to material factors which are linked to social class, but it's not the full picture. We've also got to explore this idea of cultural factors. So cultural factors can have a massive impact on your educational achievement. We saw that when we looked at social class and educational achievement. Now let's apply those cultural factors to ethnicity. So one cultural factor is language. Now we said if you're from a lower social class, maybe the language codes that you learn at home don't fit into what is spoken at school. And therefore this can impact on your achievement, it can impact on your relationships with teachers, it can lead to labelling, it can lead to all those kind of things. Now imagine if English is your second language. So let's say at home you don't... Right, that's something just falling in my kitchen, never mind. Let's say at home you don't speak English and you go into a school, into a setting where everybody speaks English and you're expected not just to write in English but to read English novels, to study English history, to all those kind of things. Now, you're going to be one step behind. You're going to be at a natural disadvantage because English isn't your first language. It's a bit like me saying to you, right, when you go back to school after all this is finished, we're only going to speak Spanish from there on. You're going to read Spanish books, you would be at a disadvantage. So, some ethnic groups here underperform because maybe they have English as an additional language or English as a second language. Therefore, they find it harder to access the curriculum and harder to make the same amount of progress. That's one cultural factor, okay? Now, let me just move my PowerPoint on. The problem is, right, this alone, having English as a second language, doesn't explain the fact or the reasons why maybe children from a Bangladeshi background roughly do the same as children from a white working class background. So it's not the full picture. We've also got then to look at other cultural factors. So a huge one is everyone will be able to see I can't spell now. I don't mind you lot knowing I can't spell, but if anyone else watches this, they'll be able to think, how's she a teacher and can't even spell? Right. Parental expectations. Okay, this is a major one. So, many sociologists argue that some... Oh, brilliant. Okay, just... Oh, you've hurt your thumb. Oh, show everybody. Show them. I hurt your thumb. No. Oh. Okay. Sit down and rub your thumb better. Yeah, in a minute. Yeah. So, many sociologists argue that it's parental expectations that often have an impact on the achievement of some ethnic groups. So if you look at your graph again that you've got on your PowerPoint, Chinese, Indian students do very, very well. Is Iris in the way?
It's fine.
Yeah, let's just have to keep sliding Iris out of the way. So, Chinese and Indian students do very well in the UK system. Now, many sociologists...
Please.
No, not please. No, wait there. Many sociologists argue this is because of high parental expectations. Okay, so watch the two clips I've put on OneDrive. One is from a Chinese background, the other from an Indian background. These parents are known to having very, very high expectations of their children, high expectations in terms of educational career paths, so A-levels, university, into professional careers. Therefore, do these students work harder? Thank you. Do these students work harder at school and achieve better because of the expectations of parents? Watch the 2 clips, read the information on the PowerPoint. It's a good explanation. Let me just move this on. Yeah, okay. So, one last reason, cultural. Anti-school. Pardon? I push it. No. Take your dummy out. No one can hear what you're saying. Where do you want to go? 1 minute. Right, there we go. You can't have this, I'm using it. Right, so. One other reason. You're going to come and get it now. One other reason, anti-school subcultures. So, look at the performance of Black Caribbean, okay? Now, they don't do very well in the UK system. Oh no, Iris! Pause. So, this will make us stick to another couple of minutes because Iris is on the rampage.
Mom.
What?
Get off.
Yeah, the charge has gone. It's out. We'll do it in a minute.
No.
Oh! We're back. Sorry. So, let's just recap. So we're saying that one reason why Black Caribbean students underachieve is to do with anti-school subcultures. Now, if you look at the data, this is mainly affects boys. Okay, so the explanation could be that these boys in this ethnic group are more likely to join anti-school subcultures, maybe because of the fact that they feel rejected by school, maybe because of racism within schools, which we'll talk about next time, maybe because of lack of role models, often live in single parent families. Yeah, so they join these school subcultures or these anti-school subcultures in order to gain status, in order to gain respect. Peer group pressure is very, very important to them, or very influential. So, could explain why this group underachieve, especially the males in this group. So it mainly affects boys, because actually if you look, mainly affects boys, because actually if you look, the girls do well, relatively well in this group. So just recap quickly, okay? We're saying that in the UK, these different ethnic groups perform differently. Some sociologists would argue this is down to cultural factors. One cultural factor is language. If you have English as a second language, if you don't speak English at home, then when you go to school where everything is in English, where the books you study are in English, you are going to be at a disadvantage. However, this isn't the only cultural factor. Things like parental expectations. Some ethnic groups, such as Chinese and Indian, have high expectations of their children and their academic achievement. What's interesting at this point is that Chinese students, even those on free school meals, so even those who are deemed to be deprived or in a lower socioeconomic group, still outperform everybody else, okay, on free school meals. So it could be that parental expectations have a real impact. The third and final cultural factor, some ethnic groups, e.g. Black Caribbean boys, more likely to belong to anti-school subcultures, where peer group pressure and succeeding at school isn't valued and they look for maybe status and respect in other ways. So, 3 cultural factors, put it together with the material factors, and we're starting to build a picture as to why there is a major differences between these different ethnic groups and their achievement in the UK educational system. So, I'll leave it there. I want you to go through the PowerPoint and I want you to summarise these arguments, bullet point them. On OneDrive, I've put those 2 videos for you to watch and a worksheet. Now you can either, if you can download it and print it off, you've got a printer at home, great. If not, have a look at it, maybe answer a couple of the questions or do it as a bit of a, you know, like highlight bits, stick bits in your book like you used to working in sociology. And then in our next lesson next week, we will look at school factors. So how does the school influence the achievement of these different groups? Any questions, you need to email me. I haven't heard anything other than I can see you're all watching the video, so hopefully you can understand it. Okay, stay safe, remember, work hard and hope. We'll get there. Bye, Year 10.